Practice Yogis. This is Jin with your day 4 hip alignment tips. And I apologize for not getting this to you yesterday. There were more technical difficulties and scheduling difficulties, and it just didn't happen. But hopefully you'll enjoy these tips now, and you can integrate them into your practice and, of course, into your life off your mat as well. So thinking about our hip alignment, we touched briefly on a little bit of it when we were talking about feet and legs in the last video. So when you think about your hips, you're thinking about your thigh bones, your femurs, integrating as best as they can into their sockets. So the tops of your thigh bones, just like the tops of your shoulder heads in our shoulder video, want to be in the back plane of your body. They want to move back. So at any given moment, the top of your thigh wants to drive into the back of your hamstring. So it wants to go back. When we shove our hips forward, when we push the thigh bones forward, that's when the thigh bone rubs on the inside of the hip socket. And that's when we get hip problems. And as I said, maybe in the foot and leg video, that's over time what leads to people needing to have hip replacement surgery. So this is a super important alignment for our health, for our well-being, thinking about the tops of those thigh bones integrating into their sockets. As we think about that, there are, as we said, loops. So the thigh loop is taking the top of that thigh into its socket. But in the limbs, there's also these spirals. And the spirals stabilize the limb. So they really integrate the limb into the hip socket. And in the core video, we're going to talk about a different spiral. But for right now, I want to talk about this outer spiral of your upper outer hip, which is really your glute, the side of your glute as it comes around. So this part here gives a spiral down and back into your body. So let's think about that. If you have a strap or a scarf or anything, go ahead and grab it and just lay down onto your back. As you lay on your back, reach one leg straight up towards the sky and keep the other leg bent for now. Hook your strap over your heel, right where your heel connects to the arch of your foot. With one hand on either side of the strap, pull straight down. So we're not drawing the leg towards the chest, and preferably the leg isn't too far out here, but if it's difficult to have the leg straight with it straight up and down, you can have it out a little bit. But either way, pull straight down and feel the top of that thigh driving down into the ground. So it should just press your sacrum down into the floor. So that's the top of that thigh going into its socket. And then you might straighten the other leg. And then passing both straps into your left hand, we're going to think about this action of this outer hip spiraling down, outer hip spiraling out and down, and that's really also included with your tailbone reaching down. So the outer hip spirals down and your tailbone reaches that way towards your other heel. Keeping that action as you start to draw the leg out to the side, you might notice your inner heel kicks up towards the sky. That's the action of that outer hip scooping. So if the toes are kicking up, we've lost the scoop. Heel, inner heel kicking up, there's the scoop. And when your hip is scooped that way, you might notice it's easier to draw it up towards your shoulder, and the thigh bone is there in its socket. Okay, hips, just like shoulders, are very complicated joints, and there's a lot to think about with them. So there's a whole slew of other things we could talk about, but I wanted to keep it a little simple today. Just think about the tops of your thigh bones always want to go into the back plane of your body, and there's this outer spiraling of your upper outer hip. Maybe you can think about that and see if you can make it make sense. Think about it in different poses, different standing poses. What does that mean with my leg in different positions? All right, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be back soon with our core alignment. Aloha.